What up, everybody? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. Yeah! Yeah. It's been a while since I went old school on you, so let me do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thieves and hoodlums, criminals of all ages, welcome to the Outlaw Nation. Are you ready? Yeah, I hope you are. Because thieves and criminals, we're going to be talking about a man who thinks, who knows in his reality that he is the law. Yes, I'm referring to Judge Dredd. In case you don't know, this is who Judge Dredd is. Funko version, of course. Dredd has made a bunch of comic books over the years, past over 30 years of publication. He's made many books, as you can see. Now, Judge Dredd's from a dystopian future where a nuclear war happened and it destroyed a lot of the planet. And basically, they moved into these giant mega cities. And when I mean mega city, it covers half or part of the East Coast, like the original 13 colonies, like around there. That is one city. And then they have a city in Texas that's basically just Texas. And they have one in California. And that's pretty much it. And then they have cities in England and other places like that, but they're giant cities with all these people crowded together because there's hardly any resources, there's hardly anything. I mean, they eat recycled food. This is how bad this is. And in this future, what happened is there was a big war. The president went nuts. He declared war and everything. He dumped a bunch of nukes, and that's when a man named Judge Fargo took charge. At this point, they already passed a law saying that the police department was inadequate and that they were making a new system called the judges. And the judges were able to be judge, jury, and executioner on the spot. They were able to just dole out justice right then and there. So the Justice Department had to be held at a higher standard than everyone else. And that's where Judge Dredd was born. Now, if you've never seen these movies, Tom Hardy's in this movie. Sylvester Stallone's in the other one, by the way. They've made two of them. They're pretty good for what they were. I mean, the Stallone one's more of a time capsule, but I'll get into that here in a bit. Yeah, so in this whack world, there's all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, this is the far future. So they've come into contact with aliens, beings from other realms, Batman. Yes, Batman and Judge Dredd have worked together. I mean, all kinds of weird and wonderful stuff. You would not believe some of the cases in this. And the writer even said it, the way the judges run things is a fascist government. So I'm just going to lay that out right now. I mean, the writers even said it. And this is a man dealing with the situation that he's in. I mean, there's billions of people in an area for hundreds of millions. I mean, they're running out of food, they're running out of everything until a lot of people started dying off due to different wars, different events, Judge Death. Yes, Judge Death is another judge from another alternate reality. Same system as these judges, except they decided that all life was a crime. And death is the penalty. Judge Dredd isn't that strict. Judge Dredd is just the letter of the law. He holds himself to a higher standard than a lot of the other judges. They actually call him Old Stony Face. And unlike a lot of the other characters in comic books, he is one of the rare ones that have actually progressed in the comics. He's actually an older man at this point. They haven't rebooted him and made him young again or anything like that. He is the same age. Actually, he has a son right now. Or a clone son, because Dredd is a clone. Dredd is actually a clone from that judge that I was telling you about, Fargo. Now, I'm going to get into the movies. The Sylvester Stallone movie gets a lot of shit because he takes off his helmet, which is one thing that Dredd never, ever does in the comics. That was the big thing that pissed people off. That he removed his helmet, and then a lot of the time that he had his helmet off. But they did create situations where he couldn't have it on. Like when they were sending him to prison, they stripped him of his uniform. He couldn't exactly be wearing his helmet. if they stripped him of all of his garb and all of his stuff. So They did find clever ways around it. It was interesting. It was kind of based on the Cursed Earth series that kind of happened. So, it had its pluses and minuses. But it was sad that I would have liked to see a little more of the helmet, but it was a Sylvester Stallone vehicle, so what can you say? Furthermore, it had a interesting cast of characters. It actually stayed true to the villains in a certain degree. So, like I said, pluses and minuses. And the man that did the voice for Darth Vader actually did the intro for this. So there was a lot. Like I said, there was good things and bad things about the Sylvester Stallone movie. So you would have to check that out yourself and be the judge for it. But this one is actually truer to the Judge Dredd comic book, Dredd. This one came out a little while back. Good old Tom Hardy's in it. And he plays a wonderful Judge Dredd. Does not remove the helmet through the whole thing. It's a wonderful story about him picking up a rookie with psychic abilities named Anderson. And basically she failed her test, and for Dredd, a fail is a fail. But the Justice Department decided to give her a redo since she was so close and she's so powerful with a psychic. And Dredd's mission is to throw her in the deep end. And I love what Dredd says. It's all the deep end. And this is the program they do. They said they throw judges in the water right away. They test them to go out in the ghetto and lay down some justice, to do summary executions, to obey everything their judge says, or they'll fail. They'll be kicked out of the Justice Department. So Dredd takes this rookie with him in this one, and they end up going to a building called Peachtree. And Peachtree is a huge, huge building. When I say mega city, think of mega buildings too. And this building is being ran by a woman boss that's selling this drug called slow-mo, which makes everything slow. A lot of great effects in this movie. And basically, they're there to take Judge Dredd down, or Dredd's going to take them down, because she locks down the building and traps them inside. And yes, it is one big gun-toting adventure. The first Dredd with Sylvester Stallone was okay when it came to action and stuff like that. There was a lot of comedy, which was kind of but there's comedy in Judge Dredd. There's a lot of satire in it. So you can understand where that came from. But this one was just straight balls to the wall. Bam, 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 bam. And Dredd just doesn't take any shit. I recommend the Judge Dredd series. I might be covering a few Judge Dredd issues here and there. I'm still debating on what I want to do. But Judge Dredd is definitely somewhere in the mix sometime. I do love the movie. And if you want to see the Stallone one for just kind of a laugh and some modern entertainment, that's cool. But if you want to see a hardcore depiction of Judge Dredd, this is the one. Now, the Sylvester Stallone movie, you got to kind of mix the two, because the Sylvester Stallone's movie had the flying bikes and stuff like that, which is kind of what Dredd does have in his future. This one is more street grounded, the bikes don't fly and this and that. I can understand why they went more gritty with it. It made more sense. And yes, I recommend Judge Dredd. If you've never heard of Dredd, I recommend picking up an issue and reading it. It's very, very good. It has a lot of different sides to it, and you'll see that Dredd is a character in the story, but so much so is the city. The city is its own character. Much like Gotham is its own character. Gotham is its own beast. I mean, you hear about Metropolis, and Metropolis is just the place that Superman flies in. Gotham is a beast. Gotham is its own entity, as is Mega City 1. And it provides Dredd with this cast of characters and villains that keep popping out of the woodwork. And it's just, like I said, it's a satire. It's violent, but it has a message to it. And it's wildly entertaining. If you want a good movie, or if you just want a good read, a good comic book read, I recommend Judge Dredd. It's been around for a long time. You can pick up different issues here and there. It's one of those characters that I feel needs a television series. The actor that did this movie was totally down to do it a while back, but I don't know why. Like when they have a good idea, nobody jumps on it. I don't know what the fuck. Like when there's money to be made, nobody seems to want to make it. But yes, I totally recommend Judge Dredd. I've covered a few of them. Like I've covered all the Batman and Judge Dredd comics in my team up section in this site. So if you want to look them up and see what I'm talking about, so you can get a basic idea of Judge Dredd and Batman. They hate each other, BT dubs, just so you know. Very cool. I like to give props to Judge Dredd. I think that it's one of those um, comics that should get a Netflix series or something. Peacock, someone should pick this up. The actor, like I said, is totally down to do another movie series. I think they should at least give it a shot, even if it's just a 10 episode series. It would be cool. And just so you know, Judge Dredd has been around for a long, long time. Check it out. Check out the movie. Wonderful, wonderful movies. Like I said, Sylvester Stallone one, a little more laughs, a little more without the helmet, which people got pissed off about, but the background, the villains were really good. So you got to trade off. It's always a trade off. This man does a wonderful job in capturing who Dredd was. He captures his essence. So whether you like very hardcore, gritty crime, watch this one. Or if you want a lighter touch, watch the Sylvester Stallone movie. Either way, the spirit of Judge Dredd is there. Pick up the comics, the books. You will not be disappointed. Check out the stuff that I've done so far and get to know this comic book character and get to see these movies, man. They're worth watching. And that is the Comic Outlaws little spiel on that. I'm going to step off my soapbox. I'm going to let you go get that movie. Go get them comics. Hell, go get the Funko, man. And as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.